As Mr. Mehta mentioned, I happen to chair a working committee of RBI on the formation of an umbrella organization. This was way back in 2007, and we gave our report in 2009. We are late starters. Actually, India, it is strange that despite so many urban cooperative banks, never had an umbrella organization. So my working group took inspiration from some prominent umbrella organizations in the world, like the ones that exist in Canada, in USA, in Europe, like Rabobank and Agricole. And we came to the conclusion that one size fits all is not the solution. So we needed an umbrella organization which matched our legal frameworks and structures and which was suited to our needs. And then we devised a model for an umbrella organization, an organization which would provide a slew of services, both fund-based and non-fund-based services to the sector. This is not an umbrella organization for only a particular segment of urban cooperative banks. It is meant for all cooperative banks, whether they are small, medium, or big. The umbrella organization, as envisioned by the National Federation of Urban Cooperative Banks and Credit Societies, Nafcub, and supported by the Reserve Bank of India, is a pan-India apex body that serves all urban cooperative banks. It is designated to act as a supporting, unifying, and enabling platform, not as a regulator, but a partner in the sector's progress. And what is its purpose? Its purpose is to provide financial stability and liquidity support, to facilitate technological upgradation and innovation, to guide in regulatory compliance and governance, and to promote capacity building and knowledge sharing among member banks. In short, it aims to ensure that no cooperative bank stands alone and they all grow stronger together. Let me also dwell on the key utilities and benefits for the sector. Some of these benefits and utilities are financial stability and liquidity support. I'll elaborate. Many of us have faced situations where short-term liquidity mismatches become a serious concern. The umbrella organization can establish a liquidity support fund, enabling prompt financial assistance to member banks in need. And this situation I have seen myself when I happened to be the regional director of Reserve Bank of India in Ahmedabad, when a major bank failure happened, and there was a run on the entire sector. Almost all banks were facing a run, and they were running out of liquidity. Those of you who are from Gujarat, including Mehta Saab, are fully familiar with that situation. And there was a problem because banks were running out of liquidity, and there was no way they could be supported. There was no entity. However, if there had been an umbrella organization in such a situation, it could have provided emergency liquidity support.
No, sir, we request you to kindly.
Pardon?
Running short of time.
Just give me 5-10 minutes. I'll wrap it up. Okay, I'll try to rush it up as much as possible. Umbrella organization can also give refinance to banks for the lending operations, and it can also help member banks to access capital and provide investment opportunities. The major area where the umbrella organization has to play an important role is in technology and digital integration. And here they're strongly looking at a core banking system on a common platform, UPI and NEFT connectivity, cybersecurity frameworks, and digital lending and mobile banking solutions. Another area where umbrella will be very active is in providing capacity building support in training facilities, etc., for which various products are being developed. The practical advantage of this umbrella, as many speakers have pointed out, is economies of scale in collective bargaining and cost efficiency that can arise from there. It will act as a central procurement hub, negotiating better prices and quality for all banks. Today, as I was meeting people I was sitting there, and as bankers were coming, many of you know me, the first question I was asking was, have you invested in the umbrella? Have you become a member? And I was very happy to find that many of them had. But those of you who are still to join the umbrella, I would implore you to pitch in and join the umbrella, from which you will stand to gain hugely. The umbrella is going to be a game changer, and if it is run and managed properly, I'm sure the sector can derive great benefit from it. I'm told I'm running short of time, so I'll end here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And with that, we move ahead to our panelist, Shri Sharath Gangal, sir, Chairman, TGSB Bank. I request him to kindly give us the benefits, what can be derived out of this umbrella banking system by the members, as well as the benefits like technology adoption, and most importantly, the cost competitiveness and cost advantages.
Good afternoon, and respected chairman of the session and distinguished panelists. Technology I don't understand much, I understand little bit of people. And in the industry where people are the capital, I think driving efficiency of people, मुझे लगता है उससे बहुत ज़्यादा जो हमें चाहिए in terms of creating healthy urban banks, we can do it. लेकिन मेरा अनुभव ऐसा है, और मैं बहुत बार मामा जी से और प्रभात जी से बात कर रहा हूँ कि अम्ब्रेला ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बारे में हम tangibles के बारे में बहुत बात करते हैं, and it's correct that we should do something on policies, we must do something on anti-money laundering, we must do something on core banking solution, etc. लेकिन intangibles are more important according to me, because intangibles deliver value, and that is largely related to people. अगर आप मुझे पूछोगे कि NECFDC का रोल क्या होना चाहिए, मुझे लगता है कि as much as in organizations we have the role for a mentor, मुझे लगता है कि the umbrella organization should work as a mentor and a facilitator for cooperative banks who may not have the wherewithal of having technology, जैसे बात किया गया, and also people processes. सुबह बात की गई performance management system, it's essential, लेकिन उसका framework होना चाहिए. We know that we have banks ranging from 100 crores to what we heard in the morning, 1 lakh crores. And therefore, ये segmentation की जरूरत है कि हर एक segment में हमें क्या deliver करना चाहिए. Membership is our strength, जिसके बारे में बात किया गया. And most important is talent के बारे में. जैसे मैंने कहा कि हमारी इंडस्ट्री है, बैंकिंग है, इंश्योरेंस है, एंड जनरली फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज, आईटी, इसमें पीपल आर द बिगेस्ट एसेट. वी कीप ऑन सेइंग इट इन आवर एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स, लेकिन हम उनमें कितना इन्वेस्ट करते हैं इज व्हाट वी नीड टू इंट्रोस्पेक्ट. मुझे लगता है जितना सक्सेशन प्लानिंग के बारे में बहुत बात किया जाता है, लेकिन इक्वली ट्रू इज दैट वी नीड टू नर्चर अर्ली टैलेंट. जो यंग हमारे पास जनरेशन आती है, हम उनको नर्चर करते हैं क्या, एंड डू वी गिव देम द फीलिंग दैट देयर वॉइस विल बी हर्ड. मुझे लगता है दैट जनरेशन सेज दैट हे वी नो, बट गिव अस एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू, एंड यू शुड लिसन टू अस. मुझे लगता है कि अगर इफ वी डू अर्ली टैलेंट मैनेजमेंट एंड अर्ली टैलेंट डेवलपमेंट, देन ओनली सक्सेशन प्लानिंग एंड पोटेंशियल मैपिंग विल सक्सीड. अगर हम अर्ली टैलेंट नर्चर नहीं करेंगे तो आई डोंट थिंक विल बी एबल टू क्रिएट सक्सेसेस. वन ऑफ द मोस्ट ऑफ्ट रिपीटेड जो ग्रीवेंस कंप्लेंट बोला जाता है कि वी डोंट क्रिएट CEOs. वी विल नॉट बी एबल टू क्रिएट CEOs unless we create a segmented development approach, early talent, mid management and senior management. और उसके ऊपर हमें ध्यान देना चाहिए, एंड दैट्स व्हाट द एक्सपेक्टेशन इज फ्रॉम एनयूसी एफडीसी, एंड हैप्पी टू शेयर विथ यू दैट मैं इन माय इंडिविजुअल कैपेसिटी में उनके साथ काम कर रहा हूँ। बहुत बार स्पेशली महाराष्ट्र में बोला जाता है कि यूनियंस का एक इशू है कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स में। यूनियंस है, लेकिन मेरा 36 इयर्स का एचआर का बैकग्राउंड है, एंड आई डिड एचआर फॉर ए लिविंग फॉर 36 इयर्स, और पहले 20 साल तो यूनियन के साथ बहुत इंटेंसली इन्वॉल्व था। यूनियंस आर नॉट ए डिफिकल्ट एनिमल, दे आर नॉट योर एनिमीज। मुझे लगता है इफ वी कम्युनिकेट एंड डायलॉग विद देम एंड टेल देम रियलिटीज, आई थिंक वी शुड बी एबल टू टेल देम what is good for the bank and what is not good for the bank, and we should have courage to tell them, and which I always tell them, हम तो यहाँ 10 साल है, आपका तो करियर है, आपका स्टेक हमारे से बहुत ज़्यादा है। Do you want to kill the golden eggs giving creator? तो मुझे लगता है कि courage and conviction if we have, I think we should be able to talk to the unions in a reasonable way, and यूनियंस भी बहुत बदल गई है। ये 25 साल पुरानी, 25 साल पहले की यूनियंस और आज की यूनियंस, इसमें बहुत फ़र्क है। द क्वेश्चन इज, डू वी हैव द करेज टू डायलॉग विद देम, और मुझे लगता है वो करना चाहिए। एंड व्हेन आई एम सेइंग दिस, ये एनयूसी एफडीसी से अपेक्षा है कि वो हमारे मैनेजर्स को और बैंक्स को इस तरह से ट्रेन करे कि हाउ टू डील with every problem that it's not a problem, every situation that we encounter. And सबसे बड़ा जो मुझे लगता है रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है वो लीडरशिप डेवलपमेंट का। जो बात किया जाता है कि वी डोंट हैव सीईओज, वी डोंट हैव जनरल मैनेजर्स, मुझे लगता है हम बैंकिंग के ऊपर बहुत ध्यान दे रहे हैं। वी आर डूइंग इनफ फॉर केवाईसी, और वी आर डूइंग सफिशिएंट फॉर केवाईसी। नो डाउट वी नीड टू डू समथिंग मोर फॉर कोर बैंकिंग, एंटी मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, कासा, ये तो चलता ही रहेगा। लेकिन वी नीड टू डू लीडरशिप डेवलपमेंट। आप अगर देखोगे कि सक्सेसफुल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो होते हैं उनमें अगर हम डीजीएम और ऊपर के लेवल पे आप जाओगे, दे डील विथ द सॉफ्टवेयर इश्यूज एंड जनरल मैनेजमेंट मोर देन द डोमेन। और ये शिफ्ट हमें करना चाहिए, और ये शिफ्ट करने के लिए एनयूसीएफडीसी ने हमें एक रोड मैप बनाना चाहिए कि हाउ डू वी मूव अवे फ्रॉम आवर डोमेन। अगर हम जब भी बैंक में ज्वाइन हुए उस समय जो करते थे वही करते रहेंगे तो एक्चुअली वी आर ब्लॉकिंग यंग टैलेंट, और हम खुद भी डेवलप नहीं हो रहे। सो वी कॉल देम ब्लॉकर्स इन नेचर। तो मुझे लगता है कि इन सब चीज़ों की ज़रूरत है। वी नीड टू डू दैट, देयर नीड्स टू बी अ फ्रेमवर्क, and happy to say that we are moving in that direction, and I'm having constant dialogues with Mr. Prabhat Kumar on that. Last point, banking has become very dynamic, and especially cooperative banking, and therefore हर एक समय पे हमें strategy change करनी पड़ती है। Today we have to have a ticket size of say 25 lakh or less than 1 crore equal to 50% of our total advances. तो हमारी 5 साल पुरानी स्ट्रैटेजी इसके लिए नहीं चलेगी। सो वी हैव टू हैव अ डिफरेंट स्ट्रैटेजी, एंड मैकेंजी का एक फ्रेज है, स्ट्रक्चर फॉलोज अ स्ट्रैटेजी। तो स्ट्रैटेजी अगर है कि हमें स्मॉल टिकट चाहिए एज कम्पेयर टू आवर साइज, देन हमारा स्ट्रक्चर कैसा होना चाहिए। सो इट रिक्वायर्स लॉट ऑफ स्पेशलिस्ट एडवाइस, और अपेक्षा ऐसी है कि अम्ब्रेला ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ये स्पेशलिस्ट एडवाइस देगी। देयर आर बैंक्स विच विल हेल्प यू। द ओनली थिंग इज द नीड्स हैव टू बी एक्सप्रेस्ड बाय ऑल जिनको मदद चाहिए, एंड umbrella organization has to be forthcoming in tapping the talent which is there in different banks to create these solutions. Lastly, हमारा mindset change का भी एक issue है, and we require a lot of training program for that in terms of, especially for the board, saying that you can't operate banks in 2025 with a thinking of 1998. Thank you very much. जय सहकार। मैं सहकार भारती का कार्यकर्ता हूँ, और ऐसे प्रोग्राम मैंने महाराष्ट्र में बहुत किए हैं। More than 300 chairman and vice chairman I have done the training, and it's not a commercial exercise on my side. I do it de bono. So any help required, feel free. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We move ahead to our other panelist, P.K. Arora ji, for his quick words about the present role and perhaps the future, what the umbrella organizations can bring, the value proposition to the cooperatives, and in the light of the competitive advantage that are have with the private and other players. Thank you to you.
Thank you, sir. Respected Chairman of the session, Mr. Mehta, Das Sab, Mr. Sharad ji, and our CEO, Mr. Chaturvedi ji. It's a privilege to speak on the umbrella, but I would be basically concentrating only on the self-regulatory role of the umbrella organization. In fact, RBI has been recently impressing upon the consultative and collaborative approach to the regulation. So this concept of SROs has also emanated from them, and RBI is involving more regulated entities. But because we are large in number, so there was a need for umbrella organization to come up. And in fact, talking about the progress of the sector, in fact, we have, number have come down from 1926 to 1472 now. But in terms of deposit as well as advances, the amount has massively increased to almost 5 times. Regulation has also strengthened over a period of time, but the time has come where RBI is now going for a consultative approach, and hence this SRO role has been assigned with the objective of effectiveness in regulation, so that the people who have to implement the policies, they are also involved to understand the rationale of the regulation. It has to be in terms of transparency, fair competition, consumer protection, and umbrella will also be involved in formulating best practices which will be circulated to all the banks, so that the increasing trend in monetary penalties is arrested. There will also be standards and codes prescribed by the umbrella organization, so that a self-discipline is maintained and violations are minimized. The objective is to promote the culture of compliance, and collective voice of the members is brought to the notice of the Reserve Bank, so that as and when the policies are formulated, the voice of the sector is heard properly. There would be equitable and transparent treatment to all the members. But at the same time, innovation and innovation in the policy inputs will also be considered by the RBI through the inputs given by the umbrella organization. There are certain responsibilities which have been entrusted to the SRO. In fact, the members have to be self-disciplined. They have to ensure that there are no violations. And of course, they have prescribed a paid-up capital of 300 crore, which our chairman has already announced that it has been achieved. And day is not far off that RBI will give us the recognition to act as an SRO and to play the developmental role which is envisaged for the SRO. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words. So, with this, we sum up the sessions. I think very nice points were discussed by our eminent speakers and panelists. And I'm sure that we understood that the development, what can happen with the speed and the kind of the knowledge of this knowledge and technology sharing, what can happen to the umbrella organizations, it would be immense help. So I think we are about to conclude these sessions. So I will thank all the speakers and panelists for their valuable guidance to the members, and I request the organizer to take it over.
थैंक यू सो मच सीएमए हर्षद देशपांडे जी. मैं बिना समय को गंवाए एनबी पटेल साहब हमारे डायरेक्टर नैफकब एंड अजय ब्रह्मेचा जी डायरेक्टर नैफकब, आई विल इनवाइट बोथ ऑफ देम. कांतिभाई देसाई जी, उनसे भी रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वो भी आ जाएं और यहाँ जो गेस्ट हैं हमारे पैनलिस्ट हैं उनको बारी बारी से उन्हें भी यहाँ पर फेलिसिटेट करें. और सबसे पहले इस सेशन को चेयर कर रहे हमारे NUC-FDC के चेयरमैन श्री ज्योतिन्द्र मेहता जी को फेलिसिटेट करने के लिए NB पटेल साहब हमारे डायरेक्टर, वो अब मेमेंटो भेंट करके और स्टॉल अंगवस्त्र भेंट करके उनका अभिनंदन वंदन करेंगे। और मैं पटेल जी से निवेदन करूंगा, शरद गंगल जी चेयरमैन TJSB बैंक, उनका भी वो उन्हें भी फेलिसिटेट करेंगे। NB पटेल सर, शरद गंगल जी चेयरमैन TJSB बैंक, उनका भी इस अवसर पर उन्हें भी एक स्टॉल, एक अंगवस्त्र भेंट करके और साथ ही एक मेमेंटो भेंट करके उनका भी स्वागत, उनका आभार व्यक्त करेंगे, उनका फेलिसिटेशन, अभिनंदन आपकी तालियों के साथ देवी सज्जनों। और अजय ब्रह्मेचा जी को इनवाइट करता हूं कि वे हमारे जो अदर पैनलिस्ट हैं उन्हें VS दास साहब ex-ED RBI, उन्हें भी एक अंगवस्त्र भेंट करके और साथ में मेमेंटो भेंट करके उनका भी आभार व्यक्त करें, उनका भी फेलिसिटेशन। VS दास साहब, इस पैनल में शामिल हमारे पैनलिस्ट PK अरोड़ा साहब ex-CGM RBI, उनको फेलिसिटेट करने के लिए भी मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा। बुला रहे हैं। और हमारे इस पैनल में जिन्होंने प्रभात चतुर्वेदी जी CEO NUC-FDC, उनका फेलिसिटेट करने के लिए भी मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा। प्रभात चतुर्वेदी जी CEO NUC-FDC, आइए प्लीज। और इसके तुरंत बाद हम अगला सेशन भी शुरू करेंगे, तो उसके जो पैनलिस्ट हैं वो भी रेडी रहेंगे। और इसमें हमारे जो मॉडरेटर हैं CMA हर्षद देशपांडे चेयरमैन, जो हैं जनरल और पब्लिकेशन कमेटी, उसको इसके बाद CMA हर्षद देशपांडे मॉडरेटर ऑफ द सेशन, उनको भी फेलिसिटेट करने के लिए रिक्वेस्ट। तो आप सबसे मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि एक बार आपकी तालियों के साथ पूरे पैनल का, इंक्लूडिंग द चेयरमैन ऑफ दिस सेशन ज्योतिन्द्र मेहता जी का और सभी पैनलिस्ट का बहुत बहुत आभार हृदय से। इस पैनल में उन्होंने समय की सीमा को भी ध्यान में रखा और अपनी बात को बहुत प्रभावशाली ढंग से उन्होंने रखा आपके सामने, तो उनका बहुत बहुत आभार इस सेशन में उनकी उपस्थिति के लिए। और अगला सेशन जो है हमारा, वो ग्लोबल लेवल पर, चूंकि बहुत सारी ऐसी बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस हैं जिनको हमें जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है और जानकर उसे अपनाना भी बहुत ज़रूरी है, ख़ासतौर पर जो USBS हैं, फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन को लेकर हमारी बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं उस दिशा में जो हम कर सकते हैं। तो ये सेशन हमारा कुछ ग्लोबली कुछ ऐसी बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस को पर आधारित है और उसके बारे में चर्चा है। और इसमें इसीलिए हमारे ऑनलाइन प्रेजेंटेशन और पार्टिसिपेशन भी है वर्चुअल मोड पर। इस सेशन में हमारे साथ मिस्टर पीटर लेमेर, एक्जीक्यूटिव वाइस प्रेसिडेंट एंड चीफ लीगल काउंसिल, ग्रीन स्टोन फार्म क्रेडिट सर्विसेज, मिशिगन, USA, वो भी ऑनलाइन वर्चुअल मोड पर हमारे साथ इस सेशन में जुड़ेंगे। Besides that, we have received a video message from Mr. Paul Trennan, President and CEO World Council of Credit Union, USA. तो उनका मैसेज भी हम आपके सामने रखेंगे। तो इस तरह के कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट हैं, इंटरनेशनल पार्टिसिपेशन है और इसमें जो हमारे पैनलिस्ट हैं, और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बात है कि इस सेशन को चेयर करने के लिए हमारे बीच श्री HK पाटिल जी, चेयरमैन एमेरिटस NAFCUB और ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर ऑफ लॉ, पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स, टूरिज्म, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ कर्नाटका, ही विल बी विद अस इन दिस सेशन एंड ही इज गोइंग टू चेयर दिस सेशन इन फैक्ट, एंड उनका की नोट एड्रेस भी इस सेशन में होगा। तो मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा श्री HK पाटिल जी से कि वो इस सेशन में स्टेज पर आकर अपनी जगह लेंगे। इसके अलावा श्री मुकुंद प्रसाद जी, पार्टनर इंक्लूसिव फाइनेंस, इंटेल कैप एडवाइजरी सर्विसेज मुंबई, वो भी इस सेशन में हमारे पैनलिस्ट में हैं शामिल और उनकी प्रेजेंटेशन भी आपके सामने यहाँ रखी जाएगी ग्लोबल प्रैक्टिसेस को लेकर। इसके अलावा श्री अनिल गुप्ता जी, मैनेजिंग पार्टनर माइक्रोसेव कंसल्टिंग प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, वे भी इस सेशन में हमारे पैनल में शामिल हैं। उनको भी मैं मंच पर इनवाइट करूंगा कि वो भी आएंगे। और इस सेशन को मॉडरेट करेंगे डॉक्टर दर्शन कलसुआ, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर हैं मिस्टर दर्शन जो हैं, और वो USME यानी यूनिवर्सिटी स्कूल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, दिल्ली टेक्निकल यूनिवर्सिटी के अंतर्गत ये है इंस्टीट्यूट, तो ये उसमें है। तो ऑनरेबल H.K. Patil ji, Chairman Emeritus Nafcub, or Honorable who is Minister of Law, Parliamentary Affairs, Tourism, Government of Karnataka, is on the dais. Please put your hands together to welcome Honorable H.K. Patil Sahab, another panelist in this session. And as I mentioned, the other panelists in session, Mukund Prasad ji, Partner Inclusive Finance, Intel Cap Advisory Services, Mumbai; Anil Kumar Gupta ji, Managing Partner, Macrosafe Consulting Private Limited. और इस सेशन को मॉडरेट करेंगे डॉक्टर दर्शन कलसुआ, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर। और इस सेशन में हमारे दो हमारे मॉरिशस के डेलीगेट्स हैं। एक्चुअली हर सेशन में हमारी कोशिश है कि ये जो फॉरेन डेलीगेट्स इस सेशन में आए हुए हैं इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में, उनको भी उस स्टेज पर हम आपके सामने इनवाइट करें और उनको भी प्रेजेंट करें, और आप उनको भी उनकी प्रेजेंस को भी हम एक्नॉलेज करना चाहते हैं और उनको ऑनर भी करना चाहते हैं। तो फॉर दिस सेशन आई एम गोइंग टू इनवाइट फ्रॉम मॉरिशस वी हैव जीवूत सत्रदानंद, प्रेसिडेंट मॉरिशस कोऑपरेटिव अलायंस, and Mrs. Dadla Khemwanti, General Secretary, Mauritius Cooperative Alliance. I will request both of you, Jeevuti and Dadla ji, to please come on the stage. आप स्टेज पर आकर अपनी जगह लें, आपसे निवेदन है। I will request both of you to please come on the stage and take your seat on the dais. Mr. Jeevuta Satradanand, President, Mauritius Cooperative Alliance, please come, sir, please come. And Mrs. Dadla Khemwanti, General Secretary, Mauritius Cooperative Alliance. तो मैं उनसे भी रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वो भी स्टेज पर आएंगे, अपनी जगह लेंगे। और इन मेहमानों का भी स्वागत एक बार आपकी तालियों के साथ हम जरूर करना चाहेंगे। प्लीज पुट योर हैंड्स टुगेदर टू वेलकम द guests from Mauritius, delegates from Mauritius. So we welcome all the honorable chairman of the session and honorable delegates, participants, and I will request the moderator of the session, Dr. Darshan Kalasua, Assistant Professor, USME, DTU, to please start this session.
Good evening, everyone. In the special sessions, focus on global best practices followed by USCB and UCBs and financial inclusions. We also time constraint. We followed. I would request each activity within 5 minutes. So, with permission from Sri H.K. Patil sir, from USA, Mr. Peter Limmer, Executive VP and Chief Legal Counsel, Greenstone Farm Credit Services, Michigan, USA, for online presentations. With permission, sir.
Okay. You can hear me fine? Oh, okay. I'm very grateful to be here. It's very interesting to talk to a room that you cannot see, particularly since this is the first time that I have been in India. But better to be in India virtually than never to have been there at all. I'll look forward to Mr. Ranjan to guide me through this in my chat to see if I'm staying on point and capturing what needs to happen here. I was introduced to this opportunity through a professor at Michigan State University, and grateful to be here, and hope that there's something that I share that will be of value to you all in terms of your mission on International Conference of Urban Cooperatives in the Credit Sector. I serve as the Chief Legal Counsel for a Farm Credit Association that is a part of a very large agricultural cooperative in the United States of America. I will now share my screen, and hopefully this works here. Okay. Can you see my screen? Besides the camera. Let's see here. Hold on. I'm looking for it now. Right here. Is that it? Can you see it now? Share here. How about now? It's coming, I think. Okay, let's do that. That will be easier. Okay. Slide number 1 talks about introduces the importance of our cooperative system in the U.S. farm for financing farmers in the United States. We are the dominant system in the United States. Slide 2. We have a very specific mission that is defined by our government when they established this system to provide credit to agriculture in our rural communities of the United States. The mission's very specific to provide reliable, consistent credit and other financial services, both in good times and in bad. Right now, we're in pretty good times in the United States, although, as we'll see later, farm income is slowly, it's been on a little bit of a decline. This system was needed for the United States to develop our country as we had started during the Industrial Revolution in order to grow food for our growing population. You can go to slide 3. Let's see here. That's slide 3 now? Thank you. This system, and I look at it very much like an infrastructure. It's no different than a road or a bridge or any other tool that's necessary to build an economy. It was started in 1916, as I said, for the very purpose to provide financial resources to an agricultural community that needed to grow. It is a cooperative. It has always been a cooperative. Meaning, as you all know probably from your work in your conference, it's borrower-owned and it's borrower-operated. It is managed by from a board of directors that are farmers, that are actually the owners. I work for farmers in my capacity as a lawyer. a very important distinguishing factor of this program is we make distribution to those member owners. We use the capital to service loans, and at the end of the year, we count up the money and how much do we need to keep in our coffers to maintain and sustain the operation, and the rest we return to the members. It's based upon how much how big their loan is and how their interest rate, how high their interest rate is. The more they pay in, the more they get back out in distribution. We offer market rates of interest, very competitive to banks. And when we give this distribution, it basically reduces their interest rate on their loan by a full percentage point, which is very attractive to our customers. Slide 4, please. This is a very busy slide. Sorry about all the words, but it's important to understand. This covers our whole country, and including some U.S. territories. There are 55 associations that provide this service. They are restricted in their territory. If you know the country of the United States, our Greenstone Farm Credit Services provides this tool in the state of Michigan and part of the state of Wisconsin. Over time, there were thousands of these cooperatives under the organizational structure. But over time, since 1916 to now, those thousands have been dwindled to 55 as there have been mergers and other combinations over that time period. Personally, I've been serving in this system for 16 years. And when I joined the system for Greenstone as their attorney, there were over 100. I think my recollection is there was 110 associations. So now, in order to manage efficiently and stay sustainable, many of them have combined into one association, serving larger pieces of the country. I don't have a full map here, but if you did check online, you could see through Farm Credit Google search where these associations are throughout our country. As it says in the second bullet point, there's over 600,000 customers that participate in this, and it's with the 600,000, Greenstone has 28,000 of those members within our state, in our territory. We all work together with this funding corporation to find money, and I'll share that in a later slide, on how the money comes into this credit system. Last part of this slide states that we are the largest single lender in U.S. agriculture. We have about 46% of all agricultural lending in the country. The banks that participate in agricultural lending provide about 32% of the agricultural credit. So the cooperative is a very valuable tool as compared to banks for our farmers, ranchers throughout the United States. We can go to the next slide, number 5. What do we lend money into? And how do we get it once the money is collected through the sale of bonds in the world? Governments buy our bonds. Other investment vehicles will buy our farm credit bonds. That money is then distributed to 4 different banks that fund these. Yes. I'm on slide 5. We good? Yes, sir. Go on. Thank you. Appreciate your help. I mean, overall, to the team and the audience, I want to say that this is a very high-level overview of this national system that we have. But it's a good start. If you hadn't heard of it, I think it's important to know for cooperatives in how we help our agricultural community get access to credit. As it says in the slide, bullet point number 1, we have 4 banks, Ag First, Agribank, Farm Credit Bank of Texas, and CoBank. CoBank has some special lending authorities that we don't as an association. However, what CoBank lends to, we also will participate in buying pieces of loans. One important role that they play is they will lend into other agricultural cooperatives, rural utilities, other rural infrastructure to help build our communities. We get our bank at Greenstone Association, we get our money from Agribank. They are our funding bank. That bank is owned by us and 14 other associations similar to us that look for the flow of money. More on that in a couple slides. The funding corporation, the second bullet point, they are the ones who write the debt instruments to collect money from the world, literally from the world. The world believes that through our cooperative organization that our farmers and ranchers that we lend to will repay their debt. And that has been true for many decades now. There's only been a few problems over the course of 100 years where that has been a problem. Currently, we are not, the non-performance of any loans is less than 1%. It's 0.5%. So our very stable lending relationships that we have. We do have a group similar to how this conference is organized with the name of your group here, the National Federation of Urban Cooperatives, Banks, and Credit Associations. We have what's called the Farm Credit Council that helps represent us as our trade association, and they are a very important communication tool to our legislature and other agricultural associations throughout our country. The last bullet point on this slide, we have in 1987, because in the 1980s, that decade, there was some stress in our agricultural communities. So our government decided to put an insurance system in place, which we all pay for through our association's fees into that group. It hasn't been tapped. It just continues to maintain its own set of capital in case there is a problem. We'll go to slide 6. Slide 6 tells you the size of all of our agricultural lending as of the end of 2024. That's a lot of money. Again, it represents about 45% of the farm agricultural debt in this country. We are at Greenstone, 15 billion of that debt, which is a substantial amount of money for any single financial institution. You'll see the different colors on this picture of the different kinds of lending that we do. It's very diverse. One of the largest sectors is power for our rural communities, cattle, food product, cash grains is the largest, and many other sectors is what we lend into. The state of Michigan and Indiana, or excuse me, state of Michigan and Wisconsin, all of these commodities here are represented because our state of Michigan is a very diverse production in agricultural geography. We can go to number 7. This is just to illustrate the types of investment vehicles that are created by our funding corporation to feed the infrastructure. The largest being specific fixed rate callable bonds. It's a little dated, I'm sorry about that, but it hasn't changed much in terms of the mixture of financial instruments. Let's try slide number 8. You can see over time that the source of funding from the previous slide, that is all built on trust over time. Our farmers, again, have paid their debt when it becomes due or as it's necessary to repay and live within the terms. The world has a lot of confidence in that and the fact that we do manage this collectively very well. I think the importance of this graph is to show that net cash farm income, it rises and falls, but the net farm income is, managing that for our farmers is very closely watched. How much income to, the difference being the expenses to operate a farm. That gap is narrowed because in the United States because of the cost of inputs. Excuse me. In other, yes. Okay. Let's go to number 9 real quick. I'll go a little faster here. You can see from this chart the flow of money. Member borrowers is what who owns this whole operation. In the retail associations, that is where Greenstone fits into it. So if you were to look at this chart, and hopefully they'll share it with you, you can see the flow of money from U.S. global investors all the way back to its member borrowers. We'll skip slide 10. Not important for this discussion. Those are our other financial tools in the country. Quickly here, governance. It's a member-owned cooperative. They have the vested interest to make sure this works. Who's decided to be on our board is picked from its members. Slide 12. As I mentioned earlier, the board of directors, they are the ones who oversee it, make sure we're safe and sound, and they connect us to the rest of the system across the country. We'll jump into number 13. What makes us unique? This is all we do as a cooperative. We hire, train, and make sure we have people who have an in-depth understanding of our communities, and we offer services as listed here to help our farmers be successful. They want to farm, they may not want to account or run their payroll. We have crop insurance and other specific tools to make sure it's sustainable. Slide 14, I will conclude here in a second. These are the types of loans we make on slide 14. And then, those are many. What's next is on slide 15. And we think it's important to share this model with the world to help feed the world. Slide 16. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for sharing information about agri-farms, credit cooperative society, and challenges faced at global level. Now, I invite the Sri H.K. Patil, sir, for brief opening remarks.
Yes, sir.
President of Nafcub, Lakshmi Das ji, Chairman of NUC FDC, Mr. Jyotendra Mehta ji, distinguished people gathered here, and panelists who joined overseas, Mr. Peter Lemmer, who is Executive Vice President and Chief Legal Counsel, Greenstone Farm Credit Services, Michigan, USA. We have with us Mr. Mukund Prasad. We have Mr. Anil Kumar Gupta, who is Managing Director of Micro Save Consulting Private Limited, and our moderator, Mr. Darshan Kalsoa, Professor, USME. We have very limited time. In fact, we have started the discussion, the session, special session, after the time given to us was over. However, we will seek from all the delegates and the members here of half an hour's time. In fact, Mr. Peter has given a detailed note of how things are working in their area. Of course, some of things are very relevant, and now our panelists are to give their opinion, but I would only suggest that this global best practices of urban cooperative banks and financial inclusion, though India has the best practice and objective of cooperative credit sector, we are looking at other countries because of our efforts are not enough. The institutions that we have built, the cooperative credit structure that we have built is not in a position to serve a major portion of our citizenry. You all know that where there was nobody to help, it is there the cooperatives have gone. For example, I will little move away from this urban cooperative sector. Agriculture credit. No banker was prepared to finance agriculture sector. Cooperative credit societies came in villages because nobody was lending except the money lender. And cooperatives were established, cooperatives were successful. Then comes the interference of the governments and so-called governmental instrumentalities, who were in the name of regulatory, they were trying to make us dance to the tunes of the government. There it came loan waiver, interest waiver, rescheduling, all that. However, the credit structure, even agriculture credit sector, was so disturbed because of intervention of others. But the actual cooperative credit sector for agriculture was started by only cooperative sector. For long, agriculture credit sector, the total agriculture credit in India was almost 60% by cooperatives. Now, of course, we have been reduced to 26-28% because of government's great intervention and also support through NABARD to these nationalized and other banks. Coming to urban cooperatives, let me make it very clear. These were the community banks. These were necessarily not urban banks. Today we have started talking of town banks, city banks, urban cooperative banks. These were not urban cooperative banks. These were community banks. If you go somewhere in Karnataka, somewhere in Maharashtra, somewhere in Gujarat, you will find banks for every caste that exists, every religion that exists. These were primary cooperative credit societies. Sometime back in 1966, Reserve Bank opened their eyes. I don't know whether Das Saab is here, Arora is here, who are representing Reserve Bank, or Ram Kumar, or somebody who also gave a wonderful lecture. If they are there, you can kindly listen. We were not under Reserve Bank of India. These urban banks, so-called urban banks, successful and unsuccessful, are first established as primary cooperative credit societies. Since our share capital was more than 1 lakh and our size had grown bigger, they took all these credit societies under their purview. We came under Reserve Bank purview in 1966. In fact, they had a lot of interest in these banks. They wanted these to grow and they should come under them. And we went under them. Our practices even then were not bad. No bank was getting liquidated. No bank was getting merged with somebody. No bank was getting defunct. But when we came with the Reserve Bank, all problems started for us. Now that our best practice, we are now preaching to people, we are talking of inclusion, financial inclusion. Financial inclusion in India started from the day when banks were nationalized. Otherwise, it was only cooperatives which were servicing those who were not serviced by bank people. Anyway, financial inclusion got more thrift after global liberalization, etc., etc. Now coming to the present situation, we are speaking of the best practices. I was very much moved when in the last panel, there was a gentleman called Sharad Gangal, if I am right. It was only he who said, you are the capital. The cooperators are the capital. People are the capital. Everyone forgets that we, the cooperators, are the social workers. We are first social workers, then the bankers. But all of them who are teaching us, they look to us as managers, they look to us as Reserve Bank or banks' full-time directors. No. I would like Reserve Bank of India to understand, Government of India to understand that we are not full-time directors of cooperative bank. We are social workers, and that's why we are cooperators, and that's why we are the bankers now. Now we have finance ministers, we have textile ministers, we have industries ministers. Are they all corporate people? We have MLAs in finance committee. We have MLAs in estimates committee. Are they people who are technologically upgraded, technically sound, men who know only the business? Please take it into consideration that we are not businessmen alone, we are social workers. Keeping this in view, you teach us the best practices. And the best practice would be that where we are to be considered as capital, and the money capital will be the next to that capital. And I'm sure the panelists here will throw light on how we can make cooperatives as the best institution with those who doesn't know about banking also sometime. We know service, we may not be knowing banking. Our Reserve Bank people may say, no, if you don't know banking, then what use of your coming to a bank? We come there, Mr. Prabhakar, you were out, it appears, we are talking something about practices where our NUC, FDC also to look at this angle. I'm only telling that even NUC, FDC should consider us as capital, and we as service-minded people, social service people, we must get involved. You can't say that, no, since you don't know banking, you go out. I don't agree with this, and none of us agree with this. We don't know banking, but we don't know, we know administration. See, there are people out of 1,200 or 1,300 odd banks, 1,500 banks, at least 300 people are not actually acquainted with banking, but they are the best of the chairmen. They are known for their service, they are known for integrity, they are known for the trust. The money comes into our bank because of the trust those people have. They may be agriculturists, they may be uneducated, they may be not sound with banking systems, but that trust attracts money, and that money makes a big bank. And we want our involvement appropriately, and with that you advise, you make us enlightened about the best practices. I hope the panelists will throw more light on this area, and I wish this panel will give us more light and more enlightenment in next 25 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your sharing your remarks on global best practices and comparative analysis with foreign cooperative society and financial inclusions. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Mukul Prasad, Partner, Inclusive Finance, Intellecap Advisory Services, Mumbai.
Thanks for putting that up. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, it's almost good evening now. Greetings to the Honorable Minister and my fellow panelists, and greetings also to all the audience members here. Many thanks to the organizers for inviting Intellicap to share our thoughts on how urban cooperative banks can position themselves to promote inclusive growth. My name is Mukund Prasad, and I'm here accompanied by my colleague Anant Nathu, who has done some stellar work, including work for the umbrella cooperative body design and business planning. Together, we will try to explore how urban cooperative banks can leverage their strengths to promote financial inclusion in the urban areas. In the previous sessions, Mr. Mehta, as well as Mr. Chaturvedi, gave clarion calls in terms of saying Saraswat Bank should become SBI and all the other cooperative banks should become the equivalent of Saraswat banks. And Mr. Chaturvedi mentioned about how there are challenges in terms of the organization structures and how those can be overcome. One small thing which is also important to keep in mind here is the fact that branding is important. And in this context, I'd like to give two anecdotes. One is I'm from Mumbai. I stay in a large society. And the corpus is about 20 crores, 25 crores. These deposits were kept with Saraswat Bank. And when the government said it can be going to other private sector banks, there was a question which came up. Should we keep it with a cooperative bank? Is it safe enough? Despite the fact that for 15 years, the money was very much safe. The brand was something which was still, created a bit of confusion in the minds of the committee members. We continued with Saraswat Bank, that's a different matter, but obviously that branding has to be built up. And in the state from which the Honorable Minister comes in the city of Mysore, there's one Saraswat Cooperative Bank branch. And that branch is called Saraswati Bank. It's not called Saraswat Bank. Again, the aspect is that branding, communication, and ensuring that these branches, these banks should be made more aware to the various consumers is something which is also an important aspect of the story. So as has been told multiple times, especially by the minister here, that this whole journey of cooperative banks has been one of trust, and that continues to be the very strong bottom line of cooperative bankings. But a critical deficiency which obviously has been recognized and for which the umbrella body has been formed is for operational speed and technological agility which has to be set up. So our hypothesis is that digitization is not optional. It is the critical lever through which urban cooperative banks can actually go ahead and fulfill their mandate for inclusive growth. Before sharing our thoughts on the topic, I would like to give a quick overview of my organization, IntelliCap, because we are not as well known as the McKinseys of the world. I just wanted to tell you that we are an organization which has been in existence for 25 years. We are not just report writers. We are doers. We are action makers. So in the first one is about how have we strengthened the understanding of the MSME sector. Second is how have we actually channeled finance for SMEs across the country. And finally, what have we done in digital finance, which allows us to actually talk about what we are going to talk in the next few minutes. So cumulative experience of 95 plus years, we have channeled for about 15,000 crores of capital and done 100 plus deals. As of now, we are also advising an institution like NABARD in building a climate finance portfolio. And one thing which was missing in this whole discussion, especially because a number of cooperative banks are based in Mumbai, is the risk of climate finance. And how can that be also mitigated? I think that's also a discussion which the umbrella body can take up at some point of time, because it is the reality of our times. And without a strong climate risk assessment and management framework, every bank in this country will be affected. I will skip the next few. I'll just take 2 minutes on this slide and skip the next few. So at IntelliCap, as I said, we are doers. And for that, what we believe is that we have 4 major values: entrepreneurship, empathy, and collaboration, underpinned by a spirit of learning. So I'll just keep these slides. These are the people who we work with. These are the people we support as part of our growth journey. Coming to the best practice on financial inclusion. The objective of this slide is to indicate that collectively, urban cooperative banks are number 4 or number 5 in the list of banks in India. The 1,500 banks in the urban cooperative sector actually reach the equivalent of many of the private sector banks. And that reach is something which all of us should be proud of. And more importantly, these banks, the urban cooperative banks, are essential for inclusive lending. They bring in new to credit customers. They channel finance to MSMEs. And they actually are the tip of the spear for getting into semi-urban and rural areas. Next slide, we are talking about what the strengths. The capital adequacy ratios of the urban cooperative banks is more than the scheduled cooperative banks at an aggregate basis. The credit deposit ratios are much lower than the scheduled commercial banks. So cooperative banks have a long runway for growth, but it hasn't been tapped. We still are growing, as one of the panelists mentioned, at 4% when the rest of the industry is growing at 15%. So despite having the trust rooted in local context and the balance sheet available to us to be able to grow faster, we are finding it challenging to grow. And what is the reason for that? One is obviously the operational efficiency and the technical efficiency, and this has resulted in the best of our consumers going to other banks. The best prime consumers of urban cooperative banks are now being banked by the private sector banks. So it's almost as if we are taking all the risk initially, and at the end of it, the private sector banks are taking away with the malai, so to speak. So we need to actually go ahead and actually mine our customers better, to give them, understand their needs, to grow with them, and to actually give them more credit. So what's the technological imperative? The technological imperative is to do a lot of the things which the urban umbrella body mentioned, and I would not spend more time on it given the fact that we are actually running out of time. But the point is that having a sort of a robust shared service ecosystem where you have cloud computing, where you have smarter underwriting processes, risk management processes, which are all provided at a shared service entity, is something which is very much needed by the vast majority of the cooperative banks, and so that they can actually learn to mine their customers better. From a global best practices perspective, which is the focus of this session, The 4 examples which we have given, one is from the US or Canada, where basically the objective is that it is, we talk about technology. Technology is just a tool. Ultimately the strategy. What is the strategy that we want to adopt as urban cooperative banks to be able to mine our customers better, to be able to service them better, to be able to deliver on the trust they place with us, at the same time ensuring that they are able to use technology. Like the youth of today or the youngsters in urban areas prefer doing banking in a digital manner. Everything has to be at the click of a button. During the previous generation used to like to go to the bank. The current generation likes to open up on their phones or laptops or whatever it is. So that element has to be built up in a way that the consumers still come to us for their future banking needs. From the perspective of, say, the last one which I'm talking about, say, Mexico, the objective is to look at how do we move beyond the rigid collateral and documentation requirements and find ways of using innovative data sources to actually provide credit in terms of looking utility payments, transaction history, or other surrogate data information to be able to actually increase the penetration of credit to the underbanked. The final slide here is something which has already been working in the Indian context. This has been set up, Dhakar Sarthi Private Limited has been set up by NABARD for rural cooperative banks. And this is something which has been supported by the Government of India, the Ministry of Cooperation, and to ensure that this corpus of 1,000 crores has been provided to NABARD to actually set up this shared service entity which provides technology support, operation support, IT support, as well as in a cost-efficient manner. A model like this, comprehensive, is obviously under the work by the umbrella body here also, but the objective is to ensure that we are able to actually do this in a way that can enable all urban cooperative banks in India to be growing faster than the rest of the ecosystem, to serve the needs of their customers, as well as the vast majority of the underserved in India, the unbanked in India, as well as MSMEs who still don't have access to credit. So with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you very much for inviting us, and we look forward to engaging with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, sharing your remarks on about IntelliCap advisory services and application of fintech and technology, including for UCBs. Now, I invite Sri Anil Kumar Gupta, Manager Partners and Leader with MSC.
Can I request to have my presentation up? By the time it comes and we have the technology on both the sides, on one side I'm using the technology to interface with you, other side I'm trying to get some aid from the technology. Let's see who wins the race. Coming to today's session, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to be here among practitioners, leaders, and visionaries who believe that cooperatives work and cooperation must succeed. To take you to a little bit of history, if we really look at how cooperatives unfolded, it was in response to industrial revolution which was happening in the late 16th century. And in response to that, what we found that there was a lot of social and economic inequalities, and hence the early cooperatives, they were just small associations, typically formed by workers, farmers, and consumers, and they wanted to escape the economic realities of those times. You will also be surprised that if you look at the history of cooperatives, one of the earliest experiments was conducted by none other than Benjamin Franklin, the visionary, the scientist, and the father of nation, particularly from the US perspective, way back in 1752. So he formed an association, which is a mutual insurance company, and it still exists in Philadelphia. So that's very important that cooperatives have been there for more than several centuries. Can we go to, sorry. Yeah. So coming to India, that we have a very rich history, and our cooperatives have always been a part of our society. If you look at pre-independence era, it was all about to tackle rural debt, poverty, and exploitation by moneylenders. And Mr. Patil referred to that actually while he was talking about it. And as early as 1904, during the British Raj, we have the Cooperatives Credit Societies Act. Post-independence, our journey on the financial inclusion has been enormous. It is awesome. It is fabulous, to say the least. It started from setting up of NCDC in 1963 to the recent formation of Ministry of Cooperation separately by the current government. In between, we have seen a slew of measures, whether it was establishment of RRBs, NABARD, SIDBI, and PMJDY, and digital rails on which a lot of digital transactions are happening in India. So if we move to what's really happening in rural areas versus urban area, what we see is an urban paradox. And this urban paradox is coming from the fact that there are 500 million Indians, those who live in cities, and 78% of them, they work in the informal sector. They are gig workers, street vendors, small shopkeepers, and domestic helpers. Despite they are so close to the banks, they remain financially excluded. This is a well-known fact. And if you look at the impact is fairly profound. And why I'm saying it is profound, because despite their large population, they only contribute about 1.2 to 3.7% of municipal revenues. And large providers, they find it very difficult to serve them because of low ticket size and lack of solution for these segments. So then, the question is that who can solve this problem? Possibly the answer lies in the DNA of cooperative movement. And if you look at the DNAs of cooperative movement, it is built on trust, ownership, and community. So there are 5 key reasons why cooperatives can consider them and to include in the overall formal ecosystem. One is trust-based model. Second is local understanding. They understand them well. Third is flexible products if they are willing to offer. And fourth is their last mile reach, which is they are very close to these places. And fifth and very important is the people, what I will say that democratic governance. If we look at global examples, so I've just divided this into 4 parts, and rather 3 parts. One part I am calling global north, which basically comprises of US and the Europe market. If you look at Europe market, cooperative banks, they serve over 80 million members and which hold around 20% of the market. This is something that we can learn from there. Very interestingly, they have the shared digital infrastructure, and Rabobank in Netherlands is a great example, wherein they work with 102 local banks with the connected single digital infrastructure. If we talk about North America, there are 4,500 plus credit unions. They serve over 130 million people, and they focus on underbanked communities. And remember their loyalty rate. Their loyalty rate is over 95%. Similarly, if we look at London, we see that they offer rapid digital loan, which can basically reduce people's dependence on payday loan. So these are the examples which are coming from North America. We have developing model coming from Africa. So we have, say, for example, in Kenya, we have, just 2 minutes. In Kenya, we have SACCOs, which is nothing but savings and credit cooperative societies. And in Asia also, we see multiple examples from Indonesia and other countries. Just last one. So if we were to basically see that what is that we learn. So as a consultant, I have just put it into 3 buckets. The first bucket is what I am calling is shared digital foundation. And this shared digital foundation is built on 4 things. One is that how can you identify the customer and how can you reach them? So this basically means digital KYC, video KYC, and using the distribution network that already exists in India. Second is that how do we leverage digital options through multi-channels so that we can have the transactions, whether it is a P2P transactions or merchant transactions. Third is that how do we have the innovative and inclusive loan assessment system, which is based on that UPI transaction history, if it is available, or GST data if it is available, or alternate data. The fourth is that how do we enable instant microloans, which I think someone was talking about, it is one of the major problems. At the same time, we shouldn't be forgetting about collection. The second is all about that how do we design the products, whether it is for those specific segment. For example, if it is a gig worker, we are talking about something like flexible micro saving or emergency credit. And third is all about enablers in the place, which includes infrastructure. We definitely include people, that how do you build their capacity. And finally, everything has to be a member-centric. If you look at India's financial inclusion story, this is not far from over. We are always traveling, we are always in the journey. We have made rapid progress and we are proud of it. And if you look at the urban cooperatives, which is a combination of trust of the community, reach of the technology, and power of democratic ownership, that can help us take us there. So together, we can ensure that no worker, vendor, or gig professional in urban area is left behind. We can look for building that future, one cooperative, one member, one city at a time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, sharing your information about financial inclusion in UCB, urban underserved. So, this is the summary of this session, special session, global aspect of UCBs and financial inclusions with technological-driven environment, with IntelliCap advisory services, fintech and technology inclusions for UCBs. And now, last informations about financial inclusion in UCBs, urban and underserved. Now, I conclude this session on global aspects, global best practices followed by UCBs and financial inclusions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Darshan Kalasua, moderator of the session. और मैं हाँ बिल्कुल मैं इनवाइट करूंगा प्रोफेसर उदय जोशी जी, डायरेक्टर नैफकब की, एक बार वो स्टेज पर आएँ और ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर सर को यहाँ पर मेमेंटो और एक अंगवस्त्र भेंट करके उनका अभिनंदन करें, उन्हें फेलिसिटेट करें. प्रोफेसर उदय जोशी जी, प्लीज़ आई विल रिक्वेस्ट यू टू प्लीज़ कम ऑन स्टेज. अच्छा, मैं राघवेंद्र राव जी को इनवाइट कर लेता हूं. राघवेंद्र राव जी, डायरेक्टर नैफकब की, वो स्टेज पर आ जाए. वो कौन है? सबसे पहले हमारे इस सेशन को चेयर करने वाले श्री एच के पाटिल जी, चेयरमैन एमेरिटस नैफकब और ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर ऑफ लॉ, पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स एंड टूरिज्म, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ कर्नाटका, उनका हृदय से आभार इस सेशन को चेयर करने के लिए और इसमें अपनी प्रेजेंस के लिए. और मैं इस सेशन में एग्जीक्यूटिव वाइस प्रेसिडेंट एंड चीफ लीगल this is Shri Mukund Prasad ji, partner inclusive finance IntelliCap advisory services Mumbai, उनको भी ऑनर करने के लिए मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा. प्रोफेसर उदय जोशी जी स्टेज पर आ जाएं और हमारे और जो पैनलिस्ट हैं उन्हें ऑनर करेंगे. मुकुंद प्रसाद जी, partner inclusive finance IntelliCap advisory services Mumbai, and Mr. Anil Kumar Gupta ji, managing partner MacroSave Consulting Private Limited. और साथ ही हमारे मॉडरेटर डॉक्टर दर्शन कलासुआ, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर USMA DTU, और हमारे जो फॉरेन डेलीगेट्स इस सेशन में बैठे हुए हैं, डॉक्टर Darshan Kalasua, Assistant Professor USMA DTU, who was moderating the session, उनको भी गौतम भाई व्यास जी, गौतम भाई व्यास जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वो आ जाए जी। तो ये हमारे डॉक्टर दर्शन कलसुआ असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर यूएसएमई डीटीयू जो मॉडरेट कर रहे थे उनको, और ये जो दूसरा कौन सा रह गया उनके बगल में किनारे खड़े हैं, ये कौन है? ये तो इंडियन नहीं है। नहीं इंडियन तो है सर, क्या नाम क्या है इनका? और हमारे इन सभी पैनलिस्ट का एक बार आप सबकी तालियों के साथ आइए हम आभार व्यक्त करें इन सबका इस सेशन में उनकी उपस्थिति के लिए। और मुकुंद जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच मुकुंद प्रसाद जी, इस सेशन में आपकी भी प्रेजेंस रही है और आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन रही है, आप सबका, और स्पेशली ऑनरेबल एच.के. पाटिल साहब का बहुत बहुत आभार। वी आर ग्रेटफुल टू हिम फॉर स्पेयरिंग सो मच ऑफ टाइम। सुबह के सेशन से लेकर अभी तक वो लगातार हमारे साथ हैं और उनका मार्गदर्शन भी, उनका सहयोग भी और उनके अनुभवों से हम सबको इतना सारा लाभ मिल रहा है। आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा आप बैठे रहें, अभी थोड़ा एक सेशन और है और इस सेशन में हमारे जो
दो पैनलिस्टों को बुलाना, ये है ना सीएम में, ये है ना सीएम
नहीं मतलब
दास
नहीं आएंगे, ठीक है,
नहीं आएंगे और ये भी नहीं आएंगे, ये आएंगे और ये आएंगे
बस, और ये
हाँ बस।
तो अगला सेशन जो है हम उसकी तैयारी कर रहे हैं, वो सेशन रोल ऑफ रेगुलेटर्स इन स्ट्रेंथनिंग द अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंकिंग इकोसिस्टम, उसको लेकर चर्चा होगी। और इस सेशन में हमारे जो गेस्ट हैं उनको मैं इनवाइट करूंगा, लेकिन आपको ये बता दूं कि ये हमारा आखिरी सेशन होगा और उसके बाद हम ब्रेक कोई नहीं है, लेकिन चाय के लिए आपको इनवाइट करेंगे। लेकिन कल का जो सेशन है हमारा 10 बजे उसकी शुरुआत करेंगे। आप 9 बजे तक जरूर आएं क्योंकि आप सबका ब्रेकफास्ट भी यही है, आपस में बातचीत भी इस बहाने हो जाती है, मिलना जुलना हो जाता है। और 10 बजे हमारा सेशन शुरू होगा जो टेक्नोलॉजी, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एंड डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इन कोऑपरेटिव बैंकिंग, इस विषय को लेकर। और कल का जो हमारा आफ्टरनून में वैलिडिटरी सेशन है उसमें सुरेश प्रभु जी वो हम सबके बीच यहाँ पधारेंगे। आप जानते हैं फॉर्मर यूनियन मिनिस्टर, और कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर में जो एक्सपर्ट कमेटी बनी नेशनल कोऑपरेटिव पॉलिसी के लिए, उस कमेटी को भी उन्होंने चेयर किया। एक बहुत ही रिनाउंड एजुकेशनिस्ट और एक प्रोफेशनल के रूप में उनकी पहचान है, तो वो होंगे। आप सभी बैठे हैं अपनी जगह पर, एक रिक्वेस्ट है और मैं अगले पैनल के जो हमारे पैनलिस्ट हैं उनको इनवाइट कर लेता हूं, जिसमें सीएमए नवनीत कुमार जैन, चेयरमैन कोऑपरेटिव डेवलपमेंट बोर्ड ICMAI, CMA Navneet Kumar Jain, Sumanlata Rao-chi, banking professional, and moderator of this session will be Dr. Ankita Gupta, assistant professor USME DTU. इन तीनों से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वो स्टेज पर आकर अपनी जगह लें। और आपको इस सेशन में मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा हमारे I will request the delegates from Nairobi, the delegates sitting here in this auditorium in plenary hall from Nairobi, from Kenya National Police DT Soko, Nairobi. Mr. Solomon, who is CEO of this company, this cooperative society, Mr. Frederick, Finance Manager, and Ms. Margaret, Accounts Assistants. I will request all the 3 delegates from Nairobi, Kenya National Police DT Soko, to please come on a stage and take their seats. They will also be part of this session. They will be sitting here, and we will honor them. We will felicitate them on when the session is. Dr. Ankita Gupta, Assistant Professor USME DTU, to please be on stage. और एक रिक्वेस्ट जो पहले भी मैंने आपसे की थी, एक बार फिर से दोहराऊंगा कि आपको जब भी समय मिले आप फर्स्ट फ्लोर पर एग्जीबिशन एरिया में, एग्जीबिशन हॉल में जरूर विजिट करें। वहाँ बहुत सारे स्टॉल्स हैं, उसमें आप सबके भी मतलब का काम का कुछ हो सकता है। और एक इम्पॉर्टेंट बात यह है कि हमारा मीडिया काउंटर भी वहाँ है, आप सबकी बाइट्स वहाँ पर रिकॉर्ड की जाएंगी। वो बाइट्स हम आपको बाद में उसको आपके साथ शेयर भी करेंगे। लेकिन इसके अलावा भी सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स में भी इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के रेफरेंस में उसको हम शेयर करेंगे, तो आप अपनी तरफ से भी बाद में शेयर कर सकते हैं, लेकिन हम भी उसे करेंगे। तो अपनी बाइट जरूर रिकॉर्ड करें मीडिया काउंटर पे जाकर, एग्जीबिशन हॉल में फर्स्ट फ्लोर पर। वैसे जब भी बीच में समय मिल रहा है हम बाकी जगह भी हम रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं, तो ये थोड़ा सा आपका सहयोग भी रहेगा और आपकी बात भी दूर तक पहुंचेगी। सो नाउ So all the three delegates from Nairobi, Mr. Solomon, Mr. Frederick, and Ms. Margaret are there, and also the panelists, CMA Navneet Kumar Jain, Chairman, Cooperative Development Board, ICMA, Sumanlata Rao ji, Bank Professional, and Dr. Ankita Gupta, who will be the moderator of this session. तो एक request है आप सबसे कि एक बार एक आधार कार्ड किसी का गिर गया था, वो हमारे पास है, इनका नाम नंद किशोर शिवदयाल झमर है, महाराष्ट्र से, तो वो हमारे पास से वो ले लें अगर उनकी आवश्यकता होगी तो। लेकिन आवश्यकता अब इस बात की है कि एक बार आपकी तालियों की आवाज मंच तक आनी चाहिए। हमारे पैनलिस्ट को, हमारे गेस्ट को, डेलीगेट्स को जो इस सेशन में मंच पर हैं, उनका स्वागत करते हैं। एंड आई विल रिक्वेस्ट डॉक्टर अंकिता गुप्ता टू स्टार्ट द प्रोसीडिंग्स ऑफ दिस सेशन।
Namaskar and a very good afternoon to esteemed speakers and dear delegates. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to Session 3 of Co OP Kumbh 2025 on the theme, the role of regulators in strengthening the urban cooperative banking ecosystem. Under the overarching conference theme, Digitalizing Dreams, Empowering Communities, this session Under the overarching conference theme, Digitalizing Dreams, Empowering Communities, this session brings together policy, practice, and purpose, focusing on how the regulation can guide the cooperative banking sector towards greater stability and trust. The session is thus both timely and significant, as it examines how regulations can strengthen governance, transparency, and depositors' confidence. We are privileged to have with us distinguished policymakers, regulators, and practitioners whose insights will help chart the way forward for a future-ready cooperative banking ecosystem. I would now like to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speakers for this session. We have with us CMA Navneet Kumar Jain, Chairman, Cooperative Development Board, ICMAI. We welcome you, sir. And we also have with us Ms. Sumanlata Rao, Founder and CEO, Nicens Work Solutions Providers Private Limited. We are privileged to have you with us, ma'am. Now, I would like to invite CMA Navneet Kumar Jain, Chairman, Cooperative Development Board, ICMI, to share his presentation and views with us. CMA Navneet Kumar Jain is Chairman, Cooperative Development Board of ICMAI and is practicing cost and management accountant with overall experience of 28 years in indirect taxes, costing, and business process re-engineering. Please take the seat.
Thank you, madam. नमस्कार। मैंने कहा काफ़ी देर हो गई है, आप सेशन सुनते जा रहे हैं, बोर हो चुके होंगे, तो थोड़ा सा अलग तरीके से स्टार्ट किया जाए। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई वुड लाइक टू कन्वे माय थैंक्स टू द Nafcub for taking ICMAI as its knowledge partner. So आज हम बहुत ज़्यादा कोई अलग तरीके की चीज़ें नहीं डिस्कस करेंगे. I'll discuss a little bit about what we are and what is the specific thing which we look from the regulator side. मैं एक cost accountant हूँ, Navneet Kumar Jain. I'm heading the Cooperative Development Board at the ICMAI. And we keep on meeting with various regulators. We know that, okay, whenever we are meeting the regulators, what do they expect from the various professionals? And what do they expect from the various organizations? व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, होता क्या है कि जब हम एक रेगुलेटर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बात करते हैं, क्योंकि एज ए CMA, एज ए कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट, हम लोगों को रेगुलेटर की तरफ से अपॉइंट किया जाता है, कभी बार इन्वेस्टिगेशंस के लिए, कभी बार स्पेशल ऑडिट्स के लिए, कभी बार री इंजीनियरिंग पर्पसेस के लिए, डिफरेंट थिंग्स वी कीप ऑन डूइंग फॉर द वेरियस रेगुलेटर्स. I have a PPT. I will be, you can say, discussing only for 5 to 10 minutes, not more than that. Reason is only that time is very less and we are running short of time. मैं अपनी PPT को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए बोलता हूँ. Please बढ़ाइए. Next slide. So a bit about our CMA profession. I'm sorry because I'll have to see this way. I'm not able to view properly over there. So basically, मैं ब्रीफ में आपको बता देता हूं, जो इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट्स ऑफ इंडिया नॉर्मली कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर के साथ अभी तक जुड़ा नहीं है. जब हमारा एक इंस्टीट्यूट एस्टेब्लिश हुआ था 1959 को. या मैम प्लीज, दैट इज व्हाट इट इज वर्किंग. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Sir, actually, not a mic, just slider changer.
Slider change. I thought it is a mic.
No,
But still, I think, am I audible? So, a bit about our institute. We have been established by, our institute has been established by an act of parliament. And we are having approximately 1 lakh members. 1 lakh cost accountants are there who are doing, you can say, great good to the nation. They are working at the top positions of various organizations. Even our cabinet secretary of Government of India is a cost accountant also. Not only this thing, many of the, you can say, chairmen of cooperative sector banks are also CMA, are also qualified CMAs. So why I am bringing it before to you? Just for 2 or 3 things, because normally what happens, cooperative sector is not aware of the words cost and management accountant. Just to bring before you that, okay, one set of professionals are already there who can take care of your all type of regulatory compliances, who can take care of your operational efficiencies, who can take care of your various aspects of your financial management. So they are already available to you. I would like to convey my thanks from here to Nafcub for having one small meeting at our institute, and it culminated in a very big way, wherein Cosmos Bank, Cosmos Cooperative Bank, you can say, hired recently 38 cost accountants in the research placement exercise. Thanks to Milind Kale sir and Cosmos Bank who recruited. Why? Purpose is simple, very, very simple, that, okay, you should be aware of, as a cooperators, you should be aware of that one set of professionals is available to you who can act as an advisor, consultant, employee to you. So you can see our institute constituted Cooperative Development Board in 2021 only, not earlier. And after that we have, you can say, released many various publications. We have conducted a number of, you can say, training programs, upskilling programs for various cooperative sectors. Recently I was at another location. I came across 3 words, and that is required in the cooperative sector. One is de-skill. In the arena of technological advancement, we need to de-skill ourselves whatever we have learned. We need to re-skill. After de-skilling, what is required? Because we have to work. What is required? Re-skilling is required. After you re-skill to do the work, what you are required to do? You need to upskill. Here the role of professionals come up. So this is my request to all of you, because whenever we are going in for you can say, adopting new technological things, we need to keep all these things in mind. Because if we are not going to do these things, sorry, whatever we will be trying to learn, that will go here and there. Next slide, please. I'll take normally 3 to 4 more, 4, 5 more slides. Just this is the agenda which I am discussing right now. Please go ahead, go ahead. Few quotes. One very good quote of the Mahatma Gandhi ji is there. The fundamental, we will not measure the success of the movement by the number of cooperative societies found, but by the moral conditions of the cooperators. This is one thing which is imbibed in the cooperative principles. So we should be very careful about that. Now, role of regulators. The fundamental purpose of regulation is to bridge the gap between individual and social interest. Whenever individual interests are going to clash with the social interest, regulators must step in and do the corrective actions. This is very much required. And I hope our regulators are really doing a wonderful job. If we, per se we have seen, so they are always acting as a support to the cooperative sector too. Please go ahead. Nothing is illegal. I'll give you one live case example of this thing. Go back, boss. Nothing is illegal if 100 businessmen decide to do it. So it was, I just want to tell you, we were assigned a special assignment by the regulators. I still recall, I was sitting with a set of professional lawyers. They said, boss, full industries, it was taking some sort of Senvet credit in the excise regime. I said, sir, this is the problem. Regulations say this, but you have not complied with that. They said, full industry is doing this one. That was, at that point of time, it was a telecom industry. I said, but that is not as per the regulations. No, but full industry is doing that. So we had a discussions with the regulator. He said, no, nothing doing. We have to follow the rules and regulations. And demands were created on those organizations. So we have to be very clear. Please go ahead. Go ahead. Go back. This is, we are discussing since morning that what are the different type of challenges are there. Just see. As reported by RBI and NABARD, a total of 20 urban cooperative banks are under AID, all-inclusive directions, waiting for, you can say, closures, etc. And 431 UCBs are under supervisory action framework. So it means somewhere regulators are required to ensure that public money is safeguarded, that cooperators are safeguarded. Go ahead. Different type of regulators are there. Please go ahead. Go ahead. I'll just go to the, yeah. Next slide, yes. See the fall in the number of the UCBs. Since 2004, not even a new license has been granted. Now, since morning, we are discussing that more and more banks should come up. More and more branches should be there. But this is the fact. This is a factual position. What is going to happen? So licenses are at stake as of now. License cancellations are there. We were discussing in the morning. So why all these things are happening? If regulators are not there, it will be a problem for all of us. Please go ahead. Just go back. Just one thing. One very important thing where all of us need to think, and regulators must think about that. My 79 to 80% of urban cooperative banks are concentrated only in 5 states. Why is it so? Why it has, thus UCBs have not taken wings in the another states? What are the reasons? What the regulators are doing? How we can support the, you can say, banking system over there? Go ahead. Go ahead. This is just have a look at it, and then I'll tell you, because we are cost accountants, we understand only figures. That is why I'm discussing the figures only. Just go ahead. Just see what has happened. Loan outstandings. We are talking about businesses. Businesses are increasing like anything, specifically in the credit sector. But here, see how much increase has been there in the UCB. In whatever the data I showed you in the earlier slide, everywhere you can see a very good growth in the, you can say, loans are there. Loan sanctions or loan outstanding is there. But in UCBs, it is only 20% in 5 years. So this is a factual data which I have taken from one of the, you can say, replies given in the parliament. I think I have just go. Ma'am, how much time I have? Over. Last slide then. This is one thing, regulators' 5 core roles. The gatekeeper. A regulator has to be a gatekeeper.
He should not allow the unwanted entities to become UCBs. Next one is the supervisor. Once the entities enters the gate, then who is going to supervise? Regulators are there to supervise. Regulators must supervise their actions, because if regulators turn their eyes blind, then it will be a havoc. Enforcer. Boss, I'm a regulator. If I'm a regulator, I have devised certain, you can say, rules and regulations. If the organizations are not complying with that, it is my duty to ensure that they comply with that. And whatever the provisions are there, I need to take, you can say, help of those. Protector. This is the most important role. Protector. Regulator has to ensure that it has to safeguard the interests of each and every stakeholder. Each and every stakeholder. Next one, enabler. Fostering professional governance and capacity building in the sector. Regulators are already doing that. And we as an institute are there to help the UCB sector, urban cooperative banking sector, and to the regulators we can act as a bridge, and to ensure, please next slide, and please to ensure that ultimate purpose of the cooperatives is served well, and all cooperatives grow, banks grow like anything. That is all which I have to say. Thank you, thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your remarks. I now invite Sumanlata Rao, ma'am, CEO of Nicense Work Solutions Providers Private Limited, to share her words of wisdom.
Yeah, I'll not take long because. Very good evening to all the distinguished dignitaries from the Ministry of Cooperation, Nafcub, and NUCDFC, and all the credit unions, both from India as well as from outside India. I know there is a constraint of time, so I'm going to keep it very short. There has been a little overlap in my presentation in terms of repetitive things, which I might just skip. Next slide. So just to give you a little brief about today morning, when I was just going through artificial intelligence, a query when I put the top UCB banks, the obvious names which came were Saraswat or Cosmos or SVC. So I also asked the top non-bank licensed credit cooperatives. Unfortunately, AI didn't have an answer. So that shows the real importance of a regulator in India. All right. Thank you. That shows the real importance of a regulator, and why is AI not able to publish, because there is no reliable source of published data of the credit cooperatives. And I understand there are more than 60,000 such credit cooperatives who are not in the radar of the regulations. And Nafcub, and under the umbrella organization, I think there are a lot of efforts put by NUCDFC as to bring in all these credit cooperatives and overcome these kind of challenges. I'm just going to skip a few slides. Okay, the major reforms which are there in the last few years have been the umbrella organization initiative, which has been very much spoken about, which is NUCDFC, and we have all prominent leadership here. It gives both liquidity, funding support, risk management and compliances, capacity building and training. I'll just touch upon a few other things which probably not much is spoken about. Also facilitator for IT, and we have just launched today itself their digital payment switch in terms of Sahakar, DigiPay, as well as the LOS system, which is also towards digitization. Maintaining the theme of the document, of the conference. RBI's roadmap of Vision Document 2025. RBI officials have also spoken a lot about this, so I'm also going to give it a skip. I have just 5 minutes left, so I thought let me just touch upon those points which is not much spoken about. The vision of Sahakar Se Samriddhi. Okay, let me just talk about some of the industry best practices when we talk about the SOPs and the policy framework, which is very weak in the credit cooperatives, because most often it's more of a copy-paste formula in terms of defining policies, but it is actually the responsibility of the board, wherein they have to really see the policies which are done at the organization level is highly practical, and for that you need to have a very professional approach. You need to have learned people in the composition of board, so which calls for, again, the common topic of professionalism in the board. It's not only about having experienced professionals, it's also having young minds who can change by their way of smart thinking, and having technology experts also, in addition to having chartered accountants or legal professionals and other banking experts. We talk about the other industry best practices. So yes, policy is more of a board responsibility. SOPs are more of an operational responsibility. Many speakers here have said that instead of being driven by the people, instead of taking approval, which has to go for every small little sanction, it has to be done at the very at the level of the credit managers or the credit head, which only in standard operating procedures can well define under the policy gambit. Operational models, yes, credit cooperatives also need to have efficient operating models which should be aligned to the business processes. Risk management and credit bureaus is something which is also very weak. I think that is one area where best practices should be adopted. Integrated technology using APIs also. Sorry, sir, I'm just doing it quickly so that this is probably people can take a photograph as well. It just captures all the things. And the most important part is the learning and development. So, sir, from the perspective of having the NUC-FDC, we have heard about technology experts, process experts, product experts. But we also need to have HR experts, because HR should be thought of from a very strategic manner. When we talk about professionalism, it is all boils down to the people. We can't, at the click of a button, have professionalism incorporated in a person. We need to. It's a slow process. It's a process which needs to be trained with every people in the organization, right from the top to the down. As Shri Sarath sir also did mention, because he also comes from an HR background, he did mention that people are the assets of the organization, and hence it's very important there has to be an equal amount of investment on the people and to build that kind of a professional leadership. Niranjan Jain, Shri Niranjan Jain just spoke about reskilling as well as upskilling. That's true. When we kind of do learning and development, it's very important that you upskill the staff also. And I'll just in detail talk more over here, because this is one topic which is probably not repeated. When we talk about training and development to all the employees or the leadership, there has to be a very different or a strategic kind of an approach. There has to be, especially for Tier 3 and Tier 4 banks, UCBs, there has to be a dedicated training and development department who evaluates the needs of each and every employee, whether it is technical requirement, whether it's product knowledge or compliance, or whether it is the behavioral pattern, the behavioral mindset of the person to take up leadership in a very smart way, and that can be the foundation to bring about a very big and transformational change in the sector. Innovative product, again, technology-based, digital-based, which we have seen. The game changers is the CBDC, data analytics also, wherein you can see a lot of commercial banks coming with pre-approved loans. At the click of 1 minute, you have that. That is thanks to the power of data analytics. This is something which is overlooked in the credit cooperatives, something that we can, kind of do it. So again, it boils down to technology. The game changers all are relevant to technology, which is the CBDC, which is going to come very soon, going to be launched, or rather there's a pilot run happening from the RBI. These are all the game changers, and I feel that we as credit cooperatives have to be very, very proactive. I said proactive. Proactive in terms of our preparedness to face or adapt all these kind of technological developments happening in India. Not to forget about the disruptive technology, which is artificial intelligence, because the youngsters of our new India are going to have things all at the click of a button. But somewhere, because of the gaps in technology and digitization, we as credit unions or credit cooperatives, we really need to prep up in terms of technology. And before that, to adopt all these kind of digital technology is to prep up the human people asset of the organization. Self-regulatory organization, central data repository, encourage collaboration, like we have the public-private partnership on similar lines. Also have collaborations apart from fintechs or regtechs, also have collaborations with HR firms, because they are something who can come with a very strategic inputs to change the mindset or the to bring about a professional mindset in the employees of the organization. Share technology, which you have already, come up with. RegTech, we always heard about fintech. RegTech is another part which I'm sure the regulators are deploying sources to get that. The benefits are having centralized data repository so that decision making is much, much faster. We have automated compliance. Audit need not be the same boring checklist stuff. It can be more objective oriented, wherein all the 3 critical risks of credit, operational liquidity is taken care of. Real-time monitoring of, I'm done. So I got a beep that I have to close. We spoke much about processes, technologies, but the main drivers are the people, bringing up professionalism, leadership development. Just to give you a little example is that we offer e-learning, e-LMSs in multiple languages, which is based on all the banking products, compliance.
Work Solutions has provided an e-learning portal to our reputed client, Godavari Urban Multi-State Credit Cooperative Society Limited. Each employee will be provided with a login ID and password through which he can access.
So this is one of the e-learning portal that we have deployed to. You can continue with the
homepage of the e-learning portal.
We have deployed to one of our clients, Godavari Urban. Godavari Urban, wherein it's all modules. You talk about all products. You can talk about loans, all different kinds of loans, KYC, AML, and multilingual things. So it is easier, for employees to learn this, because learning is something which should be constant. At least every employee of the credit cooperative should at least undergo 10 sessions. This you can increase the volume. This is in Marathi.
यावर आधारित आहे. ज्या वेगवेगळे ग्राहक देण्यात येणाऱ्या बँकिंग प्रोडक्ट्स, सेवा, विभागीय व्यवसाय.
So this is just an example the way we have all the different products. So e-learning, movie-based behavioral training, which can bring out the professionalism. We also have leadership development programs, which is curated for 3-year curated leadership program, where every year, 90 days, there is an intense employee engagement for leadership development. And I have few of the people who are participants of that program also present here. So yes, I think paving the way to credit cooperative is a lot of initiatives to be taken from learning and development apart from technology and processes. So thank you so much for giving me the time, and also thank Mr. Yogesh Sharma as well as Dhananjay Tambekar sir to give me this opportunity to present. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone. You can run the other video.
So we don't have much time, Madam, please. So please forgive us. And yeah, you want to conclude, please. So thank you very much, Dr. Ankita Gupta, moderator of the session, participants, panelists Suman Lata Rao ji and CMA Navneet Kumar Jain ji. इनको अलका श्रीवास्तव जी को मैं इनवाइट करूंगा, डायरेक्टर नैफकब की, प्लीज़ एक बार स्टेज पर आएँ। और हमारे पैनलिस्ट, हमारे डिग्निटरीज, डेलीगेट्स फ्रॉम नैरोबी ऑल्सो, दे आर सिटिंग ऑन द स्टेज, सो वी आर गोइंग टू फेलिसिटेट देम ऑल्सो। तो अलका जी से मैं निवेदन करूंगा कि सबसे पहले सुमनलता जी इस पैनल में शामिल हैं, उन्हें एक मेमेंटो और एक अंगवस्त्र भेंट करें, और साथ ही डॉक्टर अंकिता गुप्ता को भी, वो वॉज मॉडरेटिंग द सेशन, शी इज असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर USME DTU Delhi Technical University, ladies and gentlemen. So Miss Margaret, she is from Nairobi. She is part of the delegation from Nairobi. So please put your hands together to express our gratitude to the delegation, to all the members who are present here. Thank you very much for joining us, Miss Margaret, with all the delegates from your team. Thank you very much. मैं अलका जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वे इस पैनल में शामिल सुमनलता राव जी और डॉक्टर अंकिता गुप्ता को भी फेलिसिटेट करें। Sumalata Rao ji, who is banking professional, and she was also part of this session in this panel. So we want to express our gratitude to her also for participating in this this session, especially जिसमें role of regulators in strengthening the urban cooperative banking system, ये हमारा विषय था, ये हमारा टॉपिक था। तो बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद सुमनलता जी का। और इसके साथ साथ मैं अलका जी से निवेदन करूंगा कि मॉडरेटर ऑफ द सेशन डॉक्टर अंकिता गुप्ता को भी एक अंगवस्त्र भेंट करके और मेमेंटो भेंट करके उनका भी आभार व्यक्त करेंगे इस सेशन में उनकी मौजूदगी के लिए। अलका जी से निवेदन है, और आप सब अपनी ब्लेसिंग ज़रूर देंगे, अपनी गुड विशेस ज़रूर देंगे अपनी तालियों के साथ। एडवोकेट जय वर्मा जी, डायरेक्टर नैफकब, उनको भी मैं इन्वाइट करूँगा कि वो स्टेज पर आएँ। एडवोकेट जय वर्मा जी, I will request him to please come on a stage. और इस सेशन में हमारे साथ CMA नवनीत कुमार जैन, वो इस चेयरमैन कोऑपरेटिव डेवलपमेंट बोर्ड ICMAI, उनको फेलिसिटेट करें अंगवस्त्र भेंट करके और मेमेंटो भेंट करके। CMA नवनीत कुमार जैन। और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सबकी तरफ से, देवियों सज्जनों, आपके करतल ध्वनि के साथ, आपकी तालियों के साथ इनका आभार, इनकी पार्टिसिपेशन के लिए, एक्टिव इन्वॉल्वमेंट के लिए। जय वर्मा जी से, एडवोकेट जय वर्मा जी से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, आई विल रिक्वेस्ट हिम टू फेलिसिटेट द अदर 2 delegates फ्रॉम नैरोबी ऑल्सो हु आर सिटिंग ऑन द स्टेज। मिस्टर सोलोमन CEO, Kenya National Poly DT Soko from Nairobi. He is CEO of this cooperative organization. So please put your hands together to express our gratitude for him for being part of this conference, along with Mr. Frederick, who is finance manager of this cooperative organization from Nairobi, Kenya. So Mr. Solomon, who is CEO, Mr. Frederick, finance manager, in सबका we express our gratitude to all these, the member of the delegation from Kenya, Nairobi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. और एक सबसे बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन जो है वो आप सबका है। सुबह से लेकर अब तक आप सब कम से कम आखिर तक बैठकर इसको आपने हम सबको इतना इनकरेजमेंट किया है। एक बार अपने लिए हम सब, आपके लिए तालियां हम सब मिलकर बजाएंगे। थैंक यू सो मच नैफकब की तरफ से और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कोऑपरेशन गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से। लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, कल सुबह 10 बजे सेशन की शुरुआत होगी, लेकिन 9 बजे तक आप आ जाएं तो बेहतर होगा, क्योंकि ब्रेकफास्ट का समय भी होगा और उसके बाद नेटवर्किंग का, बातचीत का भी मौका मिलेगा। हाँ, 1-2 चीज़ें और मैं ज़रूर आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि एग्जीबिशन हॉल में ज़रूर विजिट करें, वहाँ हमारे वेंडर्स के बहुत सारे स्टॉल्स हैं, उनको विजिट करें। और एक हमारा मीडिया काउंटर भी वहाँ बना हुआ है, जिसमें हम आप सबकी बाइट्स को, आपके कमेंट्स या आपके एक्सपीरियंसेस को रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं। वो उसकी रिकॉर्डिंग की कॉपी भी हम आपको प्रोवाइड करेंगे, लेकिन उसको सोशल मीडिया पे भी, हमारे अलग अलग प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे भी उसे हम अपलोड करेंगे, ताकि लोगों तक वो बात पहुंच सके। तो आज के लिए आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इसके साथ ही हम आज के प्रोसीडिंग्स को यहीं कंक्लूड करते हैं। और जी, कल जैसा कि मैंने पहले भी बताया कि कल के वैलिडिक्टरी सेशन में सुरेश प्रभु जी, फॉर्मर यूनियन मिनिस्टर, और भारत सरकार ने जो नेशनल कोऑपरेटिव पॉलिसी को बनाने का, ड्राफ्ट करने का जो जिम्मा दिया जिस कमेटी को, उसके चेयरमैन के रूप में उनकी बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है। तो उनका आगमन होगा, ही विल बी हियर विद अस इन द वैलिडिक्टरी सेशन एंड ही इज गोइंग टू चेयर द सेशन। तो आप जरूर तब तक इस सेशन में आपका जुड़ना शाम तक आवश्यक है, रहना ही है। अभी आपके लिए मैं आपको इनवाइट करता हूं चाय के लिए, चाय के साथ बातचीत के लिए, वीडियोस, सेल्फीज, फोटोग्राफ्स, सब कुछ अपनी मेमोरीज के लिए आप इकट्ठा करें। आप सबके लिए बहुत सारी मंगल कामनाएं देवी से चलो। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सभी का।